Hey guys, okay, so welcome back. Okay, so the triple threes, we've done the five. I've still got to do a video on the triple three number 4 and number 5. There's nothing much to do a video of there. Those are basically shells, but nonetheless, we're still gonna go through it. We're gonna move over to the harder part, and I saved the harder one for last. And we're gonna start off now with the E28. So the red car, the henna car is here as well. Doesn't really matter if we take the cover off or leave it on. The henna car is here. There's a lot of parts still in the car. Everything is packed in the car still. There's a lot of parts. So the nitty-gritties we're short of on that car, right? So there's not much of a strip down on this, even though we're going to tackle still the suspension out, the brakes out, uh, and so on like that. And then move over to the interior and then start building from there. The key is, what we would like to do is we'd like to build in tandem with the two of them. So what we do on here, we do on here. What we do on here, we do on this guy here. So is an original car. It is actually a survivor vehicle, right? But there is, and this is the car I actually drove it, but we're battling still. I battle a lot with airflow meters and injectors and issues. So how we got this motor right was I used the red M5 with the gold wheel. It was at that point in time it was the same owner, and I had to troubleshoot with that car there, and we used the ECU from that car. We used not the harness, the ECU, the injectors, the airflow meter. We used from that vehicle there, and we troubleshot away from there, right? And we realized issue wasn't an issue. The injectors were fine. We had that cleaned out. That was sorted out. The issue came in through the airflow meter. So getting airflows on those cars is a bit tricky. It's hard. The boards are different to your normal 325s or 535s. But that is the issue. So what our goal was on that car is basically just to get the car driving, get the car smoothing out. Yeah, the motor is fine. And we left it at that. So I'm not still going to go through that process now. We've done that on that car. But remember me saying in the previous video that this setup here, all these cars actually belong to one person. So in order for us to get this car complete, this motor is still getting built, right? So I think it's built. I must just find out the how far the motor is. So this motor here is actually from the red car. We put this motor in here because that was complete at that point in time. To get this car started, get this car complete. So we knew that this car was A4 weight, because in my initial video I told you guys that we're going to strip this car back down. So this motor belongs to this guy here. That motor is getting built, and then we'll have to go through the whole setup again from there. But we're going to be doing it differently because we're going to start this car up on the jig. So we're going to start up the motor on the jig here, make sure everything is fine, do water testing on the jig, make sure that the cooling system is fine, and then from there work our way back in. So we're not only doing that on the E28s, we're doing that basically on all the other E30s. So we are currently building a startup rig, if I can call it that, that'll have your battery power. They're all running on ECUs, on standard ECUs. They're not running on aftermarket managements. So you'll have your mini fuel tank on there quickly with a pump that we can just come and fuel pipe in. We'll have a radiator system on there that we can water in. On the triple threes, we'll have the fans running. On these cars here, they'll have the viscous fans running. We're gonna have a heat gauge on there that we can just monitor. We'll have an oil pressure gauge on there that we can make sure that before we start up, we do oil pressure up, and we can test from there. So we'll be able to get a lot of testing and a lot of ironing out, especially on their individual harnesses on the jig. Same thing with these two cars. We'll be able to sort a lot of issues out on the jig, and then from there work our way in, so that we don't always have to be working over the engine bay. In theory, we'll work from the bottom up and pull. We will work from the bottom up and just basically pipe up, wire up the basics of stuff once the car is painted and once we start assembling. So let's just go through the car quickly. Right, and you can see M88 motor. I just gave this guy a paint over before, but this is totally wrong. So we're gonna have to blast off again here, and we're gonna need to go for the same look and feel as this year. We're gonna have to get it powder coated, but I said that doesn't just get a normal powder coat. Even the powder coating colors that I have is wrong for this setup. So we want to try and strip out as far as possible. We have got everything in its place. With regards to aircon pipes, we got quite a bit of the pipes, actually all the pipes sorted out. We are short of headlight covers here, but we're not too stressed about that. We are short of covers on this side here. The aircon fans were on. The interior. Okay, so just excuse my lighting here. We without power. So on this car, we were just short of a couple of panels to close up on the cubbyhole side. Sophie, what you can do is you can take off. So it's me and Sophie again working here. This guy likes to work with me. He can't run away from me. Yeah, smile. So disconnect battery first. You're gonna move them up. Okay. So the seats here compared to the E30s, right? The E30s are manual seats. These seats are all electronic. So getting this functions working, this is also gonna be tricky. But Sophie has to leave battery power connected here in order for him to move the seats forward to get to the bolts and nuts, right? We're gonna be, I think, let us start with the interior of this car. So we're gonna work a little bit slower on this vehicle, right, as to the others. Let's work on the interior. As you can see, I've been through airflows. I think we went through like 8 airflow meters on this car. Let's start on the interior. Let's work the interior out first, and then we're gonna get the car onto the lift, and we'll work its way from there. And we're basically going to go through the same procedure. The difference on this, guy, is that I'll be able to strip out, before we get to the lift, I'll be able to strip out a lot of the items around the motor, like your air radiator, your condensers, your fans. I'll do the headlights, we'll do the bumpers. There is an issue on this side of the car, on the front, so we know there's an issue. We'll have to do a lineup basically before we do final paint. And yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so Sophie's busy on the driver side. I'm going to start tackling the right hand side. So we're going to start off with the interior while he's taking the seats out. Once he takes the seats out, we'll move over to the center consoles. We'll move over to the dash area, to the sunroof area, and start pulling out slowly like that. So we've got 2 Phillips in here. So remember, I haven't done a lot of the E28s, right? So we're gonna go through it together, because there's gonna be times when I'm gonna be looking for screws. And we're gonna figure it out together quickly. So if okay, so I got the flatheads out, and then we're gonna turn. So let's see, how does this clip come on? So it looks like it's a threaded bolt in here, but it turns to one way. Let's see. Okay. It's a very funny bolt through the galley through the end, through the armrest itself, and you can see these bolts here that we've been battling with. So I'm gonna get this here on the table for now. You can see this guy never had door trims, but the door trims would be the same as the E30, basically open up, slide out, and that's it, right? This here should be clips in here, so let me get my toe clip, and then we should be able to lift up. And I can take the, we're not going to use these ones here. This is aluminium aftermarket ones. I'll leave them on the table for now. Let me go and grab this guy. I'm going to start from the bottom. The bottom should be the easiest to work from, and I'll have to start with the thinner one first. So, right, here's one clip here. You'll see that this thing comes up in two pieces, if I remember. Yes, Sophie? This door card is a two-piece door card. Two-piece, no? Okay, so the bottom will come out first. And you'll see there's a whole lot of clips on them. So we did not go and put the sealer on it because we knew we were gonna open this door up again. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the door cards up here. And this is with its armrest. This one here, this guy. So this one here should be sitting or should be tight with the clips from the rubber itself, right? So what I'm gonna try and do is get these clips should be as tight as can be. Yeah, I think, and they're not they stubborn clips, if I can call it that. Let me try and get this corner out here. I think, and again, guys, parts are not available for the 28s. They're not like the E30s, so you don't want to break panels and clips because we don't know if we're gonna find them. Okay, now let me try now. So it is a very tight fit in here. It is a tight fit. I shouldn't need the window down. So if you still got power here, nah? Let's see with the window down what happens. Still. Okay, so this guy here has got the two clips on the inside, right? It's got the double clip that holds the rubber down and onto the body, and
Doesn't have screws there at the bottom of that panel.
this whole panel is loose at the bottom here. There's a clip here. There's a clip here. Okay, okay. So there's clips at the bottom here. So you should have a screw here, but you can see these guys are broken. And they've got clips in. So we need to try and plastic repair this guy as well. Okay. Okay, so I found something here, but I just want to grab a tool quickly. Okay, so in order why I battled to take this guy out, you can see this guy is older, right? And the E30's got clips in here, and I assume that they have clips, but they've actually got screws holding your rubber panel down to the body. So we're not going to strap that out now. We'll do that strap down when we start with the doors, because we're going to leave the windows in now. But let me put the windows up. So when we do strap the windows up, we don't have to still worry about doing it power. Right? Okay. Now I'm going to start off with these panels again, guys. Parts, it's a problem. So do not. So there's no clips here. Okay. So these guys have got clips on the inside, and it's got a very funny clip. Sorry, I'm moving away from camera. It's got a very funny clip on the inside that bites onto the body itself. So there's no need to force them. There's no need to carry on. Right. So we'll get up here. So if you wanna come, move over now. You wanna come this side here? Okay. I'll start on that door. You got the back seat is out already, so I can do the two doors there. You can get on this side here. Then you can swap over, right? Okay, while I am here, let me just pull. Okay, we'll get the seat out first, pull the people cover off, and then we'll get the door rubbers off nicely. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. Oopsie. I almost got spending here for the week. We're gonna do the same thing on this side here now, right? I'm gonna start in with a flat head first and see. Yeah, flat. So this cover is off here already, and we're gonna have to figure out how and where to get that cover. So the E28s, you can see it, you know, while I'm busy here, you can see that everything that they used back then was not screws and nuts, and less of the clips. The clips that they used were very primitive. Because if you look on the side of the dashboard here, there's holes for screws everywhere. So we're gonna have to look for the original grommets and try and cover that up. So even if a screw does go in there, maybe look for a nice grommet to cover it up and not leave it exposed. Okay, so I'm gonna move over to the side here quickly, and then just lift up like I've done on the others equally. This thing is stuck to the side. Even though I'm loosening and loosening, I'm not getting any leverage. Okay, I'm gonna go through it again. You guys know what I need to do. So let me try and loosen it quickly, and then I will get back to you. Okay, so after much fighting, got the guy out. This guy is actually strapped in here, so I need to check what's going on in the door, because that didn't even hold much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave that there for now, because I need to get this guy out here. So I can't remember which way this guy slides out, and it slides out back. Okay. Was broken in here, so we'll figure out what to do here. Let's pull out the mirror switch. Alright, so the plug is in here. There's a guide screw at the back here. Got the door open. Remember I showed you earlier, this cover was out already. Okay, let me get my... So give me the bigger tool there, please. Clip out all the... It's on the floor here. There. Yeah. Okay. And she slides out. So clips everywhere through. Yeah. Okay, so take it for me. One time. Thank you. So what did we say with this guy here? There should be a screw here, so there's nothing holding here already. There's nothing holding this side. So then there should just be clips. Okay. Right. So I'll take that now. Okay, so the mirror switch should be here. I thought that side was bent, but I'm looking at this here. There's actually an angle out. There's a tapered angle to it. So what way I here? Let me just take this guy out quickly, and then sorry. Let me take this inner window trim out. It's amazing to see between the E30 and she just comes out so easily. Right, and the rubber remains behind you. That will come off as well. It's amazing to see, between the E30s or between the 3 series and the 5 series, right? And I've seen this here on the E36s, on the E46s, as to the E39s. The difference in the bulbs and how they built, and the thought process that went into these cars before. Very basic, very simple, but there's a bit of thinking. There's a lot of thinking that went into it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this here. Let me get to this guy out here now. Okay, so remember, the clip is on the clip of this guy. Let me turn this camera here a little bit. The clip of this guy is on this side here, not on like the E30s that's here at the bottom. So I'm just using it. I'm using this here for leverage, just to help me guide it. I'm not forcing it in any way forward. Okay, so let's see. One clip slid out. Yes, it should. Okay, so it's a very basic clip. This is actually a common clip. You'll normally find them on top of the E30 doors. So that should find its guide. Yeah, it should guide in. So it should slide in from the bottom, slide all the way through. And then, yeah. Okay, so this here looks like a very similar process. Only difference is now we've got the window button on here. We've got an ashtray, but that ashtray should come off with the top off. And that's it. So let me get my flathead. Yeah, so while Soph is busy there, he's battling to get that seat out because that motor moves to a certain point and then she stops. It's something that we've got to tackle as well, and we're going to look at and see why these motors are tight. Again, it's a huge possibility that it can just be age. Okay, so I think this one here has only got one screw here, and then it has that threaded bar in the front here. So again, locating the head. I can't seem to find a screw in here. I can't seem to find the head. Okay, so after battling, and I told you guys I couldn't find the head of it, right? It's because there was no head of the screw in here. There was no screw in here. So they made, I don't know if this is a pilot hole or if the M5s came like this, where there's another screw on the side. We got that out, and then same principle, turn the lever up and pull it back. So I'm gonna take off the door clip now. Simple one. This thing is still in good nick, but the color is blue. So I know that there is blue interiors that came on the M5s and it, or on the E28s, not so much the M5s. I don't know if the handle trims came out in that as well. So pulling out the window switch is simple. Right, they normally have clips here on the side, and you can see these clips are worn out. So I'm gonna push this guy back in so we don't yank it. This here should be with the top panel, and I should be able now to come and clip out. So even though the clips are loose, I'm rather gonna come with a tool and just help the others that are still tight. And you can see all the clips in place, but I think we need to change these clips over because they don't hold as much as we'd like it to hold up. Then, okay, so this one here, I see there's a screw in here, but the bracket is broken, and there's a screw in this side. There's a Phillips in this side. So I'm first gonna go up here. Take this guy out. I'm actually looking forward to assembling this guy again. Okay, so again, we're gonna do away with these guys. These are aftermarkets. They look okay, but not for OEM spec. And then go back and then unclip them here at the bottom. I don't know if there's a further screw in here for the ashtray. Let's see. I don't feel anything here. So this ashtray, let's see a bit. There might be extra reinforcing on the ashtray side. Yeah, there's one screw in here. So because of the door card having an ashtray, they probably reinforced further. That's why it's a little bit different to the front. There. There's it. Simple. So you can see what I was telling you guys now. There was a screw in, but the clip was broken, so that clip is holding nothing. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and take these guys off. Again, I'm gonna leave the screws in place, and we're gonna do the same thing. I'll go back to the passenger door and start off with that. Okay. I'm just gonna go back and put these screws back in, and you can see they're all the same type. I just see that two screws that would washers missing, but they are all the same type, and we'd like to leave it in there. And when the time comes, when we do strip the doors out and get to the window mechanisms, obviously we'll run our service on the mechanisms. We'll run the clips in where we need to run the clips in, and we'll start electroplating and cleaning up where necessary. That door is done. Let's move over to the next one. Okay, so guys, I'm not gonna show you guys the passenger door panel. We've done the others, right? And it's basically copy and paste. So what we are gonna do is now Sophie has stripped out quite a bit in the center. It's not in the center, in the interior of the car. So we're just gonna show you quickly on the seat belt stock and take off and out, and basically taking off the people aside. So if you got my flat there. Okay. Guys, and again we apologize for the lighting today. We without electricity since 11 o'clock last night, and yeah, we just gotta try and improvise. Okay, so while I'm still carrying on, yeah, Sophie's gonna carry on with the move the camera up for him. Sophie's gonna carry on with now just with the visors quickly. Strip down that. We're still gonna see what we're gonna do with regards to the roof liner, and I don't really want to touch this roof liner. Sophie, this one screws give me such a hard time. No, I'll get it out now. But one screw is taking me so long to take out here. Yeah, there's it out. So it's again another screw on the door handle itself. Okay, so Sophie's basically just taking off now the sunroof liner. So check in the where the sunroof emergency blank off is there. The blank panel next to the switch. Yeah, just see if anything is there underneath. Just the motor, there's nothing else holding the panel down there. Okay, so on this back doors, it looks like there's a couple of screws missing. So it's the screws that hold the top half of the panel down. Just fine, it's not a problem, but we just have to hunt them down and make sure that we get them back in because the clips are broken at the back. Okay, you've got this, Sophie, you've got this people off now. So I can start pulling the door rubbers off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start just here quickly while Sophie's getting on there. And I'll start pulling the door rubbers off. So these door rubbers are still okay-ish. No, they're not okay-ish. Right, but let's just keep them together. So like this one is actually coming out, the passenger rubber is actually coming out in two pieces. This rubber is broken. Fuck. What you busy with this house? And the top panel? Is the top panel loose? You must pull. Yeah, but we need to pull the sunroof back to get to the clips in the front there, remember? Yeah, why don't you pull the sunroof back, pull the sunroof back, Solo? And let's take it off and then we know we finish with that. Let me put this light off here. Go down. Go down again. Okay. Pull back. Go. These rails are dirty here. So it's tucking in at the back here, Sophie.
That's alright because
I
we still lift it up.
yeah.
You must lift it up so I can take out the
Okay, so Sophie managed to take off the panel there quickly. We had to go and take off the screws by the sunroof side. So we got that out. Alright, I'm busy now with the steering. So what I've done is I've taken off the 23 nut on the steering. I'm just gonna leave it zoomed in like this here quickly so we can see both me and Sophie working on it. So I'm gonna carry on now on the cluster, the steering, the cluster, the OBC. Sophie, you carry on that side there. So the ABS controller can come out there. So again, 23 nut in here. Lock the steering, grab it, loosen the 23 nut, make sure the washer is there with it. Then put ignition on again to release the steering lock, and then you should be able to wiggle this guy through, right? And you'll see the water pump. That's how we'll have to try and have repaired. And then we're gonna start pulling out these bogies now. So it looks like on the cluster here, we've got a screw here, and we've got a screw this side here. I grab my star here. Okay, so again on the interior, right? Make sure my mic is on. Again on the interior, make sure that the screws are the correct ones. And you'll see the other side. It's out already. I'm gonna push it from the back forward. And this guy does become a bit tricky. Glass crack on it. But the glass we'll be able to replace because that should be norm or 5 series norm. But the cluster itself is different. So again, here there's different boards and clusters I've seen from the 520s to the 528s to the, so basically differences between the pre-face models, the facelift models, and then differences through the capacity models. Sorry, I'm being stupid here. I should have just held it, but this plug was a bit tight on the side here. Right. So M5 cluster revving up all the way to 8,000 or 8,000 limiter and up to 280 km an hour. Okay, so on the OBC, this panel here, let's bring the light up here. There should be a screw holding this whole panel on the side here. Okay, there's 2 screws on the side here. So sorry to steal your guys' light. Sophie, give me that other. Oh, wait, let me get the. This Phillips here is actually a very small Phillips. So I've been using a medium for everything else. On this guy, I would use the baby. Okay, so your two screws are basically behind your cluster. There's two Phillips in here holding down, and it should be clipping into the body, not body, into the dashboard on this side here. So what's going to be tricky for us when we're assembling the red car is because these, even when I first got the red car, it was a project taken over from previous guys. And for me, what will be easier is, although we got this car, it might be easier just buying a couple of donors so we can get to the correct nuts, balls, screws, clips, and stuff like that. So I've got this guy out. Yeah. So she comes out fairly easy, but now remember, okay, so we told him before I carry on. Sophie, get your screws out here first. This is your, okay, you grab your sun visor screws there. This is still part of your sun visor. Right. I'm gonna start just keeping my screws separately. Or just, do me a favor, keep all the interior. We're not gonna split it up into dashboard and, because from the interior we will know. It's easy to distinguish what is what behind there. So I'm just gonna unplug now the hazard switch and the demaster, and then we'll have one plug for the OBC, right, which is the green plug over here. So I always battle with the locks. What I do is I normally just yank a flat in there just to get the lock out, and then that's out. I can push all these cables back now. Let's just see. Okay, that we don't have to pull out now. Okay, so if you're gonna pull the dashboard out, right? So is it only the screws on my side there? Tens on the sides. Okay, so Sophie's gonna pull the dash out. Let's see if the lighting is still good here for you guys. Okay, I don't think. Okay, so while I'm busy there, the backboard on this car was a made-up backboard, which basically screws down to how they wanted it before, made of chipwood. So I'm gonna pull this backboard out. I'm not even gonna video it because it's nothing fancy or anything to talk about. Yeah, and the rest is basically your seatbelt stalks in it. I'm not gonna stress too much on that. I'm not gonna try and video that because we are running through time. Okay guys, so that's it for episode 1. You can see we're starting to pull the harness out now, but the interior is basically stripped out. You can see our huge 6x9 holes, and we've got to come and sort that out. All the door cuts are out. I've actually managed to pull that bracket out, or the inner sill door rubber, not the window rubber bracket. Sophie's pulling out as far possible. The heater box is out as well. The boot area, there's nothing much on the boot area to still show, but the boot area is out. Still gotta do this guy on the boot. And yeah, we're gonna move over to the engine bay. That'll be episode 2. So yeah guys, like, subscribe and share. You guys know what content, it's a lot of work going into we're trying to get as far possible the detail. We are battling with camera angles, so I've got to get the camera basically onto a tripod. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what's your thoughts. Interact with us. Drop a comment. If you want Sifiso's cell phone number, I'll put it in the comments as well. Hey Sifiso, I'll put your cell phone number in the comments as well for all the women watching you. Alright guys, anyway, like, subscribe, share. You guys know what to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Cheers guys.